Playday number 4. We are over halfway through the season, and that might just be the scariest thing to consider of all fresh.
I feel like it's especially different for us because we do EUL and APAC North.
Yeah,
and
we haven't even
not
done
kicked
EUL
off yet. And we're nearly concluding APAC North. We're going to start talking, you know, presumably next Wednesday about Major and who's in contention to go to the Major in May. And like I say, a lot of the other leagues haven't even kicked off yet. And realistically, the cat's amongst the pigeons. There's a lot of teams that, you know, could be looking for this third, fourth spot. I believe probably Talon and Damwon Kia are going to be 1-2.
Yep.
But third and fourth is completely up for grabs. I thought CAG were going to make it their own. Looks like they're potentially going to get dragged into a little race towards the back end of this stage.
Did you hear me when I shouted at you on the desk, by the way?
No.
You said flying under the telescope, and I was like, radar!
Radar, yeah.
And I was like, have you genuinely missed it? You're trying to talk about being analysed, or you're on about under the radar? I wasn't quite sure where you were going with it, to be honest.
That was
with you,
exactly
mate.
my point about Soldier, though, is he goes under the radar. Like, he does a lot of he gets a lot of kills.
He's like Crazy Boy.
Get.
He's like Crazy Boy for T1.
Yeah.
Just they go about their business. They get stuff done in the mid-round. You don't see them popping up with big 3Ks and 4Ks, but their impact is there. It does the stuff that's outside of the flashy things that a team really needs to get those rounds on the board that you look at and just go, okay, it's business as usual. Nothing flash has gone on, but at the end of the day, a round is a round, whether it's won by a clutch or if it's won by just doing business as usual. Let's get into it, though. Talon start things off on the attack. Thank God for Fnatic. It's going to be down in the basement, and we have seen teams fail time and time again to crack this site open. I keep going to call you Tim. It's honestly really throwing me off. Because normally, I'll finish a sentence and I'm like, oh, they really have to crack this site, Tim. And then that's when he starts talking.
Yeah.
But obviously with you, it's Jack or it's Fresh.
I can be your Tim if you want it to be your
I
Tim.
might call you Tim. I'm just going to call you Tim.
Just call me Tim.
I'm go with it.
Yeah, this is why I'm Budget Tim.
People are going to
still call me Tim.
People are going to tune in and be like, why is he calling him Tim? Tim sounds really different today. He still sounds northern, but that doesn't sound like Tim.
Yeah, it's a...
Why isn't he screaming?
That's good.
Why is he
I can
saying
scream if you want. I can't do that. I don't even want to do a disservice to Tim by trying to say it.
What baffles me is
I know
you're from the north as well.
Yeah, but it's completely different. The demographics and the accents across the north are completely different. You've got Hull, you've got Leeds, you've got Manchester, and you've got Liverpool. All completely different.
Here comes the rush anyway. They beeline their way straight down through blue. Canos with the opener straight away into Chibisu, has he? A second one following up straight after. We've seen the Nino approach of a blitz come charging in before, and Talon are wasting no time. Straight in down elbow, getting this plant down, and Fnatic, they're left reeling. That's one way to crack open a site that normally is quite hard to crack open, but that blitz turns out to be the can opener that they were looking for. Fnatic stuck in this 3 versus 5 retake. They see the longer angle, but can't quite find the man, and it looks like round 1 already going to be going the way of Talon if this thing's kept up. Into a 5 versus 2. Canos waiting for one more to come down the stairs, not even aware of his presence. It could be a flawless round. Indeed it is. What a statement from Talon to get Oregon underway.
I was still looking at you talking about the accents in the
me
north
too.
of the UK, and Easy comes in the ear, rush, 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 rush.
And it's like, oh, it's Nino time.
And I always say there are 2 times to rush. The very first round or the very last round, because it is always so unexpected. Talon read into that perfectly, saw players off site, they're into site, they're using a blitz, they've planted, and that's round 1. Done.
I love it. Love it when teams are willing to kind of roll the dice on that bad boy and see what it turns up. You've seen it before. We saw it from Reject back on Skyscraper in week 1 when they went for the classic ranked execute, attacking into karaoke, where you had the glass, you had the smokes coming out, the ying on side. They just made it a nightmare to deal with, and it was really, really well executed. And a good rush is great to appreciate, but don't go thinking you'll see it all the time. That said, Soldier is currently hovering over, bringing along that ying in this round. So they've identified we are indeed going into the top floor. We are not going to see a repeat of the basement, so with Attacker repick now in action, he can look to change up what he's bringing along. Sliding between the Twitch and between the Ying. Imagine you'll see the Ying, because those smokes can be great for getting an execute in through concrete. Indeed, it will be locked in. So let's see what their approach is for this round.
Fnatic have absolutely loved the Oryx. And I'm curious as to why, because I don't think it provides a great deal of value, especially considering, you know, we talk about them potentially trying to copy a European playstyle. However, they're putting their own little spin on it. Constant Oryx, constant Fawn. And whilst their defenses have been good, I do wonder why they seemed so committed to playing that one particular operator.
I think you saw it quite a bit from LATAM teams as well when we were at SI. I want to say it was Lukid. His most played defender was Oryx. And for a few teams, you just get the occasional niche player who picks this like odd, off-the-cuff operator that not many others do. And Oryx kind of looked like one of those for a while, but has really kind of come into his own now as more teams have started to adopt him and make use of him. His play rate at SI wasn't drastically low as you might expect. It was actually quite surprising when we saw some of the stats come up. So maybe again, it's just a preferential thing coming in for Lily here.
Talon doing a very quick work here. So we're a minute in and they've already got established outside double window with the Maverick opening attic. So presumably what's going to happen is they're going to wait for the players that are below to start trying to push through to showers, hallway, dining, kitchen. Look for some nade kills below. Push the big nade kill that you want is you want to push the player out of the kid's bedroom on the north side. It's currently light occupying that position. The reason being is that he can then, if he's dead, he can't deny double window. Then you're looking to use your Ying to go into double window and get the plant down. The Maverick late on, if attic is fully open, I'm not sure if he fully opened it, the Maverick late on would then push through to shoot people in the back, essentially.
Chibisu having a chip taken out of him there as well, down to about 5 HP with that nade coming in from below. Being droned out once again, they must know that he must have been hit by that grenade as the second one comes in, takes the shield with the man. Beautiful nade coming out of Canos.
And that's one, you've cleared the position by the window. Realistically, this win condition for Fnatic is all on light and whether he goes for kids. He's not even aware, he's too focused on attic. Two people focused on attic when a Ying execute's about to come down by double window.
The only man really watching is Yura here, waiting for the long angle for someone to cross down, to plant behind the bunks down to the south, and in goes Hedy, but Yura steps across at literally the wrong moment. Doesn't want to get blinded out by those Candelas, and will pay the price. It's going to be another plant going down for Talon. 2 rounds, 2 plants, and another post plant for Fnatic to fight back through. It begins here. Lily finding one onto Demic, but Hedy, he's dug in deep here after this plant has gone down. Canos the second coming back on the other way. Fnatic scrambling here out towards Game and White to try and get back some semblance of control. You've got Hedy dug in deep, sees the man, but no, the response from Yura is too quick. They start on the defuse. Azzy, the last one left alive, coming up White. Will he find the one man? No, he won't. It's the shotgun 2 pump to bring down the man. 2 left alive for Fnatic as they pull off a wonderful retake.
In terms of the execution, Talon, that was almost, well, it was absolutely perfect to the point of getting the plant down. You had one guy white, you had one guy on the kid's window repel, you had one guy covering from double window, one guy planting and one guy lurking below. It is absolute perfection to get that plant down. It is 101. The retake, however, from Fnatic was very well played, identifying the gunfights, doubling up, taking them, and just completely retaking the site from there on out. The plant position was not in view of double window is the only kind of downside to that, which means that you can't hold the defuse. You've got to be inside to hold the defuse, and that was ultimately the undoing of Talon.
It's a real hard one, because if you plant just inside a double window, you're exposed potentially to the left to kids. Someone can charge up White, you can get shots through the game rotate, someone can swing around the bunk, for example. So that back corner on the south side of the bunk is very secure, and you can always play it from below. That was the one thing they could have looked to do, is get the downstairs control. They'd already broken White open because Chibisu had died, but didn't play that angle.
Realistically, the plant spot should have been by the bed, right opposite double window, because there's a reinforcement there as well. And the reason being is that they had the complete cross. Nobody was challenging the plant regardless of that where that went down, as long as there wasn't a line of sight. So that's my only criticism, was the plant spot has probably just cost them that round. But if not, they kind of strategically won that round, even if they didn't actually win it on the scoreboard.
Which is never a bad thing as well. Seeing beautiful Siege being played out, executes looking phenomenal. You know, I didn't think we'd see too many in this game, knowing what Fnatic's attacking history is like so far. But seeing good Siege being played out, and then an unexpected retake coming back in through sheer skill alone, that is where things look really beautiful to watch. And that is what we have just seen. Into round 3 we go then. Meeting and dining. So not meeting and kitchen, sorry, not dining. Not dining and kitchen is what I was trying to say, but obviously got everything mixed up.
Meeting and dining would be a sight.
That would be one hell of a time. Who knows how the hell you play kitchen on that one, huh? Probably try and break in through security.
Well, yeah, it would be weird.
Yeah, wouldn't it just? Either way, it is going to be the meeting setup. And we always kind of debate between what's the more popular. You tend to see more kitchen these days. Sorry, kitchen and dining. Honestly, these 3 rooms. You tend to see more dining these days than you do meeting. But we have seen some really good stage pushes, especially making use of an Osa here in APAC North. I think back to the one last week with the flanks coming up from basement, for example. It was beautiful.
As soon as you've directly identified that there's it is meeting, Osa is just an instant, I'm going to call it 7th pick, an instant 7th pick because you press the number 7 to change it on your keyboard. An instant attacker repick, a 7th pick onto Osa.
I'll have you know, I rebuy mine to the 6th key.
Yeah, of course. And the reason being is you can just plant the stage, but Osa provides... Teams used to do it with Monty, where you walk a Monty in and plant behind. Osa has that ability completely on her own. She's just taking Green Hall for free. All that utility is completely expended. The defenders are going to have a very difficult time actually trying to retake Green Hall. She's presumably going to put the second shield in just on the stage, and then the plant's going to come in just on the stage. You don't need much map control whatsoever to get a plant off in this type of attack.
Obviously, what you're being nervous for is the C4s, but one's already came out from Mary. You like the only other one with this reasonable one in back pocket that could do any real damage here. Say that! And I was like, oh, reasonable damage? How about a kill onto Hedy? It's not quite the key target you're after in the form of the Osa, but you'll take it onto the hard breacher. Sure, the work has already been done, but you've removed it away. You've taken the flashes with her, for example. A lot harder to burn through some of this utility. The Jaeger and the Wamai on the side of Fnatic.
They don't know about Lily. He's coming up on the flank, finds one, and will be able to pull the attacker off the diffuser. 5v1, all on Demic now. He's going to try and find a couple of exit frags. Ultimately, though, for Talon, this round was let go. They allowed people to get the C4 kills, aggress up close to the Osa shield, and also flank up the T1 stairs.
Beautiful.
Light getting the final kill. A good round coming out of Fnatic.
Yeah, another one of those rounds where I actually think the team approach, the strategy coming out of the attackers was really good. It was getting set up. You could see the pieces coming together. They got a lot of ground very quick that I was kind of surprised Fnatic conceded. But then look at what happened afterwards. The big flank. We spoke about it earlier on. I want to say it was Kag that got flanked last week.
Can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember who it was.
I forget who it was, but it was someone trying to plant it on the stage.
It was Shin.
It was Shin on the flank who got it. Okay, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Observer. A wonderful Shin plant that came through that shut down the Osa setup coming in onto that stage. You've just seen it happen again. So teams have probably got to start looking at this site and saying, look, this is happening a lot here in APAC North. Let's start getting those drones.
And what actually irritates me about both those two flanks is those drones that saw the person. Talon had no reason not to know about that flank, and it's very well that they could have been communicating that flank was coming in. However, the timing of the flank from, I think it was Light, or was it? It was Lily, sorry. The timing of the flank from Lily, along with his teammates also pushing onto stage, one of the two people gets the kill there because the attacker can literally only look one way. It was really nice timing, really nice coordination, which is something that we've not said about Fnatic over the past 3 playdays.
Yeah, it might be taking a bit of effort, but Fnatic are still finding the rounds that they need here on the defensive side. Talon probably kicking themselves now that 2 rounds in a row they felt they had a good setup, or they'd even got the diffuser down, but just couldn't quite close the rounds out. Back down to the basement we go, once again into supply and laundry. Looking across the lineup here, there is indeed no blitz, so panic not, viewers. There will not be a rush in this round. Whether that's to your disappointment or mild relief is entirely your own choice. Fnatic, by the looks of it, also fully dug into sight. I think there's one man I haven't seen yet. He could be far out inside of Freezer. In fact, you can see him just at the top of Freezer, off towards the far side by the looks of it. So not too much in the way of roaming, but I think at this point you kind of come to expect that on this site. Most defenders will just dig in deep.
Yeah, and it plays to the strengths of the site in that there's no vertical above it whatsoever apart from the hatches. Nothing in meeting or anywhere above, directly above where you'd want to plant is destructible. And therefore, there is absolutely no reason to try and defend that area. Sometimes you will see teams do extended roams up here, but most of the time it'll be someone in Freezer, shoots a couple of drones, will try and get a late flank if they can. Other than that, there's no reason. Just hunker up and wait for the attack to come in.
The Nomad just making sure these flanks are indeed safe. One dropped inside a split to stop anyone come charging up through the laundry stairway in towards meeting, where no doubt they're going to start staging their attack. Very common for attackers, even still, to put all of their focus on this north side. You come in through blue, you come down main towers or down big tower stairs. You'll have yourself dropping in through the E-box hatch. You do sometimes see the south-sided pushes, but they always feel a little bit dicey, a little bit ropey, because there's such long angles that you can be challenged on by the defenders. You're just very exposed on that initial push in. Here they are trying to soften things up around Pillar, but Lily is still holding firm on Shaiko spot, and they've got the support from Chibisu on site looking up towards Big Tower, and Yura just sat inside of Highway.
Exactly. It's all these power positions, and the full win condition for this for Talon is how can you clear these power positions? How can you clear Lily? How can you clear Light? If you clear them, you probably win the round. If you don't, you won't.
They're trying to push their way through. The flash is coming raining through. Fragnades also following their way down elbow. Lily the one dancing with death a little bit here on this door. On one side, Big Tower awaits. On the other, it's the construction site entrance. The smoke coming out. In comes the swing. Lily going aggressive, but missing the kill. That's a bit of a kicker, and then gets killed on the exit as well. It's 2 kills going the way of Talon. Chibisu looking a little bit frantically up towards the north as all of his team around him are falling by the wayside. Looks like Talon squaring themselves up for an execute, but Light the hero steps out, gets a kill in towards construction. construction. That leaves now a couple of members pushing their way down Big Tower and through E-Box. So slightly contained and very one-directional in how Talon are currently looking. This could be Fnatic's chance to really strike back. They've got no C4s. They're out of smoke canisters. It's going to come to some guns up play here in the last 15 seconds or so. Light with the shotgun pump comes out. Chibisu a second. Once again, Fnatic seem to have recovered around from the brink of defeat and will find themselves with a third in a row. Once they find this last kill, it goes to Chibisu, playing patiently on site all the way through. Fnatic with the third round in a row.
What I really liked from Fnatic is wasting the time. It got to that point where you play the power positions. They very nearly let go of the round. The reason being was Light moved into blue to try and help Lily. Or it was Lily moved into blue to try and help Light, sorry. However, when that happened, tower stairs could be walked down. Chibisu let go of that from site. There was the long angle through the soft wall. He let go of that, allowed pillar control for the attack. Luckily, they recovered it because they managed to just still retain the elbow blue power position. But it just shows you let go of a couple of power positions, how easily that defense can just crumble.
I think it was really smart play by Light overall as well, because when he acknowledged they'd lost Shaiko, he was like, well, I've either got to get back inside and reinforce and we hunker down, or I press aggressively for a kill. And what he did was, through the smoke, swung in towards construction and removed control of blue away from the attackers or any potential of them having that control. And that's when you ended up with that 1, the highway control, and 2, a little bit of pressure through E-Box, which, let's face it, against a shotgun player, you're never going to win that fight.
No, it was a good... there was a time where they lost that round, and they had to recover it to win it. But overall...
I put it on that aggressive play personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's another good sign coming out of Fnatic is kind of, yeah, they had the coordination to lose the round, but the miscoordination to lose it, but then they had the coordination to take it back and win it. So good signs coming out. I know it's on the defense, and we say that they've got good defense.
I do want to rain on one thing as well, because let's not forget, Fnatic used to be known as Guts Gaming. It's the old roster that got picked up and Chibisu got brought in. Last year, and I said this after I think it was Playday 2, they really lacked an identity. We didn't really know from Guts, okay, what is it you expect to see from these guys? Historically, back in 2020, they were that aggressive Japanese team that you didn't know what to expect against, and they were just going to come at you and hit you hard and fast. And if it worked, great. If it didn't, oh well, we'll try again next round and come at you even faster. You are starting to see that kind of structure being put in place around them now, which maybe speaks to the support being put behind them. You know, Dizzle's still somewhat involved in the team as well, a new coach coming into. It's one of those things, like a couple of other teams, that I think really they need stage 1 to get the shape together under this new way of working. But you are starting to see it already in the same way T1 is.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I speak to Dizzle quite a bit, and I know that the expectation it is that this team will be going to majors and invitationals. Yeah. However, they've almost given themselves stage 1 as a free pass. We know Mag's not in this roster yet. We know there's a new coach. We know it's a completely new organisation they're representing. There's a lot of change in this roster, and therefore, you know, it's about them re-synergizing with that identity. Yeah. It is going to take time. And I suppose that's the reason that, you know, me and Fabian, especially on the desk, are somewhat critical, because they'll be saying the same things to themselves anyway.
Someone's got to be critical.
Well,
else it'd be like, we'll go through to stage 2. We'll be fine, guys. Don't worry about it. And for those wondering where Mag is, he is indeed being locked away for 60 hours a week to speed study Japanese. Because, of course, he's coming into a Japanese roster.
It's already pretty good.
I lie, it wasn't 60 hours. It's more like 40. But he's still having to, of course, speed learn a bit of Japanese to make sure he can fit into this team as well. Let's see how things step up from this point forward. We have got a push coming in through the shower side and lots of grenades coming ringing on through just to make sure security is clear, freezer is clear. But guess what, guys? It's not, because Lily's working his way up on the other side of things. If he pushes his way down Zulu, I was going to say, you've got to be so careful crossing in front of that front door, because you'll often have someone sat on the white van. There wasn't, but Lily didn't want a chance to push down Zulu there, just opted instead to back straight away, back up towards site.
We're back on that same cat and mouse game of will they kill the guy in Kid's bedroom? No, because Euro will drop down and just take the head straight off Canos. There is a Nomad the other side of this door, presumably if he hits that, and he will fall to his death. Oh no, yeah, there is one. Yeah, there it is. Great play from Euro to get a double kill and completely deny this West main attack coming out from Fnatic. Leaves Soldier in a 1v5 on big window, wondering what the hell has gone wrong. Jumps in the big window, but takes a shotgun to the face, and that will be a flawless round coming out of Fnatic.
Yeah, that one there, you just see where it all really started to crumble apart, and Heady understood to strike.
Yeah, it's when they feel that they're pressured there, they feel that they need somebody to get, you know, they're not in trouble, but they need to relieve a bit of pressure. That's when they'll go aggressive, and it is working perfectly.
The one that was beautiful there as well, Yura knew, as you clocked as well, that there was an air jab on that door. He couldn't really push through it safely without getting himself blasted and likely killed. So rather than going hyper-aggressive or even retreating, he just sat and held the angle, and sure enough, I think Talon felt threatened and were like, right, we've got to get this guy out of security. We have to challenge him.
Yeah.
That's why they went for the swing, and ultimately he gets the second kill, and the round is basically done.
It's because he then threatens the White Stairs player if they don't get rid of him. So he then, and that's why it's so important, because he then becomes objective number one, not the execute.
Yeah.
And that's why that play is so big.
Here we go then, dining and kitchen. So not into meeting this time round, changing things up a little bit. Maybe Fnatic acknowledging that last time around they did rely quite heavily on the flank coming up through basement, and then just saying, you know what, we don't want to face off against that again. Let's not rely on being a bit cheeky with the flank to get us a round win. Let's try and do things a little bit more by the book. No doubt on the side of Talon, it's going to be a small tower start. It's where teams will always kick things off on this attacking side. Wanting to get control of showers, get control of the small office above, get control of the dining wall, get it opened up, and then normally a planting behind the couch is the go-to.
It sounds so simple.
Doesn't it
Tower
just?
takes.
Let's push it, open the wall and plant forehead.
It quite literally, and it can be that simple. The showers player is the big win condition for the defense here. If they stay alive, if they use their life, their time, their utility well, even get a pick, then it really sets it up back against the defenders, because showers can be so hard to take, especially with Chibisu supporting. I'm curious about the shield. There's a shield in showers that you would usually see on the 90 hallway, so that Chibisu could use and sit behind it just with the hallway with ADSs, because then they can't push up the hallway. Now, if the attackers decide to push up the hallway, they just have a one-on-one gunfight with Chibisu.
I guess the beauty here is their reliance is entirely on entry into this hallway being denied by Lily, who is sat behind that shield and can use it to stop people pushing in for free. That means the only real point of contention you've got is the actual one from the shower window out in the hallway itself. You're stopping someone jumping in, but no one wants to get locked into a vault animation and find themselves dead. Azzy finding Yura, the man we were speaking about being dead already. He was the hero of last round. This round, he is the zero.
5v4 scenario, but still only the breach coming out into showers. Is still this game of cat and mouse and who can delay and get the time. Is that the shield gone?
Yep.
Yes, it is, but Lily, he's not going to give up his position. The Hibana pellets will go off. He's going to peak that with a 1.5 now and stay in there as long as he can.
It's not that it matters, because Chibisu and Mary have destroyed everyone else around the map. Chibisu doing work inside a shower. We mentioned the lack of a shield. You don't need no shield. The man can swing on windows, as can Lily. This time onto the stairway. It's Soldier taken off the board. Fnatic looking resolute in their defenses this half. It's looking to be a 5-1 unless Hedy and Demic have got some miracle stored up their sleeves.
It's really hard now. They've got to look for defender aggression, which doesn't look like it's going to come out whatsoever from Fnatic. They're just going to sit in their positions and hold their positions. They've got to try and identify 1v1 fights.
Is can they get this 1 versus 1? Something tells me the answer is going to be no. They see the man but can't quite find the head. Hedy gets one back on the other side, but Chibisu there for the trade. Fnatic a near flawless round, losing only the one man. And what a phenomenal defensive half that has been.
Yeah, very impressive. And we said we don't have any concerns about their defense. They got a 4-2 last time out, a 5-1 here. It's all about these attacks. Let me just re-emphasize this. 17% attack win rate. 3 attacks out of 18. Coming into this, I think it was 13 out of 17 defenses. So they're not losing their defenses, they're losing games on their attacks.
It's incredible stuff, and I'm kind of concerned now for this second half. You can be 5-1 up. You can still lose
This would
a game.
be a difficult one to lose from here.
You assume so. But let's not make any assumptions. Hopefully, in the last few days, we have seen some work done behind the scenes over in the Fnatic camp, and they can get this one over the finish line, because those defenses, again, to me, have probably been some of the best that we have seen in APAC North. The proactivity in the mid-round, not wanting to be too over-aggressive. You know, I think about teams like Cyclops with Black Ray, or I think about MB Taylor on Sandbox. They love their early round aggression. They love spawn peaks. They like being out in these high-risk areas of the map to try and disrupt early on.
Which Fnatic won't do. Yeah.
No, exactly. And it's actually looking really good. I think the Guts Gaming of old, they definitely would have done that. But this iteration, much happier to kind of sit back, play it patient, and then strike when it's most opportune. And that has been good to see. It's good discipline.
Yeah.
It's on the attacking side. We need to see that now exist.
Absolutely. And it's coming out, the attacking straight onto Laundry, which is, you know, a power site. It's very, very, very hard to attack. More often than not, it goes in the way of the defenders simply due to those power positions. We saw it twice in the first half where Fnatic lost it once to a rush and won it on the kind of conventional attack coming out. And that's really what, you know, what teams do to try and cheese around on that site is rush. So it's going to be a difficult one. It usually relies on clearing the full map, opening the hatches, and then trying to get down Pillar and Blue.
I love how much you big up Soldier, by the way, in the pre-desk, and he's currently 0-5. You really
I
are
know.
a walking curse.
I am.
Can you tell me I'll never make it to Plat 2?
No. I'm not doing that one for you. Not for free, anyway.
Beautiful. Well, they are getting set up here on the vertical just to try and deny them. We actually almost saw someone get a kill through this wall the other day. I forget which game it was in, but there was a sledge holding upstairs above, sprayed down onto big tower stairs, and a Jaeger was taken down to about 30 HP. Because he was very innocently doing what all Jaegers do, which is sit halfway up those big tower stairs and just try and kill a drone that comes down, then back down to sight. It's the freest drone of your life. But seeing how this sort of thing plays out, we've seen it twice this week now, I'm starting to think teams might start backing away from that spot and being more cautious. In fact, even better, open it yourself and challenge that hatch as soon as it gets smashed open. That's the real play.
Ah, I see.
200 IQ Jaeger players.
Is this what happens in your Plat 2 ranked games?
No, it will be, mate, when I get to Plat 2. I'll let you know how it goes.
We're seeing the Maverick doing a lot of work right now, having to open the hatches, of course, because Kaid is not banned, a frequent ban that you do see on Oregon, mate. Just to help with.
I tell you what, look he's gassed. Look how close he was.
You can literally, he's done 2 hatches. He might even get a little hole in this third hatch here to drop a nade down so that they can breach. There we go.
In it comes. Not yet. All in good time, dear friends. I'm honestly now nervous with anticipation about it being opened up. The thing is, I'm kind of nervous because it is this south side push. You can see 2 out towards Freezer. You've got 3 now coming Laundry, so there is no north side take. Talon can just redirect all their attention down towards the south here as this push starts coming through. Already, you start to see more and more of these nades start to fly in. A little light on the information game here. Fnatic, 3 drones up on the flank most likely, rather than running it through sight. So they're going in a little bit blind as we enter these final 30 seconds. First smoke is out, chewing through that clock ever so slightly. But Lily is the first one stepping up. He's got into deep freezer, uncontested. If he can find a kill, pushing his way into highway, it's massive. Soldier finding 1, finding 2. He's back on the board for the first time in this game. Swung out by another. He finds 3, and just as we say is 0 and 5, he comes up massive when Talon need him most.
Who's the curse now, Des? And Soldier plays,
mate. We're always a curse.
Exactly. And I think for Fnatic, it's back on the woes of the execute of the ideas on the attack, because they didn't want to deal with clearing out the power positions of Laundry and Elbow and all that. So they go completely the other side. They go for a Laundry freezer, and it's a take that works 1 in 10, 2 in 10. And the reason being is the defenders can completely front it up, because that one position that we saw Soldier playing in the closet, and the one player that I think it was Aziz that was playing on highway, which is the kind of bit between sight. You can cover both of those angles within a 45-degree radius, right? You're not having to spin all the way 180 to, look at 2 people. Defenders can just front that angle up, and that's exactly what happened. Fnatic didn't get a single kill.
The best attacks I've seen on that side generally have come from smoke-based plants, where you'll smoke out, for example, in towards highway. You can smoke the rotate, or just have someone inside a freezer hold the cross, and then run and plant right up against the cubby wall. That is normally the go-to, but I think Talon kind of read into that. Again, 200 IQ plays about that whole Jaeger reverse shooting idea. They bring along the Warden, just in case, because they are expecting to see something like a Ying get brought out here. And I think we saw this against Fnatic the other day, actually. In the first 2 rounds of attack, they brought Ying.
They did bring Ying, yes.
And the team they were against in the second round brought Warden, and then every single round onwards. Because the fear, obviously, is always going to be, okay, what if they change out to bring a Ying, for example? We don't know if they're going to do that, but if they do, it's going to be so detrimental to our round, we may as well make it happen.
And ultimately, if you bring in a Warden, who are you replacing on that lineup? A Frost, an Alibi, a Fawn, maybe? So it's not really like you're losing out utility-wise, because Warden still brings a shield and obviously a
shotgun,
a gun, cases. A shotgun or the pea shooter.
Yep.
As we're seeing as is running right now. So
dismal gun.
There's space to find a Warden on your lineup, and it just keeps that Ying just completely away.
Yeah, it's more. I think it's more like security reasons. If you had the choice, you wouldn't bring this. You'd probably bring an Alibi instead.
But it shows how strong Attacker Repick is.
Yeah.
You don't show a Warden, they're going to go onto a Ying every single time.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. So, looking at how things are shaping up, we've got Light working his way up the armory stairs pretty much solo here, trying to get himself set up. We've got a couple of players out up towards Attic side as well, and no doubt some looking towards White or out towards Big Window. So a little bit of a spread so far for the side of Fnatic. More of a 2-sided push. Right now, no one has yet rotated over to towards big window. May come a little bit later on, but we saw from Talon back in the first half what very narrow angle pushes were doing to them. When it was all from one direction, it was all too easy for Fnatic to hold angles, wait for you to step into those longer range angles they're holding down, and just shut down a couple of players.
This is better from Fnatic. They've established map control, and that's one thing that they didn't do on Wednesday. But now we've got the 1v1 fights ensuing. We've got big window, we've got breach, we've got attic, and it's all about whether they win, because they're not in close proximity to each other in terms of Fnatic attackers. So it's going to be difficult if they don't win their gunfights.
I think they've bailed on the attic push as well, actually. Yeah, Soldier got no one to stare down. He's fighting Ghost at the minute. They've opened up the wall, and they probably assume, okay, the fact that it's been open slightly means someone is going to come there, so I must watch it. However, the Maverick has rotated off completely and come down instead towards Master side. So you've got a 4-1 split coming through here. They want Trophy. They want to try and get their way in here through this soft wall. You can see the nades coming on through, chipping away at Heady in the second one. It lands true. A great operator to pick out as well in the smoke. Yes, those smokes had already been deployed, but it's a crucial anchor operator gone and off the board. Devitt finding one. They're stepping inside. Can no one swing onto him here? I'm not sure they can. As he steps across and gets a very easy one there onto the man planting on concrete. Canos into a second. And Fnatic are being decimated once again. They only get the 1 kill. It's another dominating round coming out for Talon.
And that's exactly what we say. The constant issue with Fnatic is the lack of refragability. There was no plant cover whatsoever. I appreciate that they're trying to play objective. They're trying to get the plant down. There's no plant cover. It was a free kill for the Warden, and then it's just 1-to-1-to-1 to... The desync is real because the big window player should have had the defender that killed the planter.
Yeah, he should have been holding that cross.
Desync. He was clearly looking... Well, I don't know where he was looking. He was either looking at close bed or into kids' dogs.
I think he was looking into kids because obviously Heady died inside there. I'm expecting maybe a rotate to come through. I don't know. But...
And again, it's what we might have... Again, there's really good guys on the desk that are really informative. Said that they might not have a player because of the fact that it is Chibisu that's playing the hard breach that's calling, we go on 3-2-1. Because if we go on 3-2-1, your big window player is absolutely looking towards top white. If that call's not coming out... That's the reason those kind of mistakes happen, which is the reason why they've lost that round.
They probably called the 3-2-1 because they did step in and start getting the plant down. It was just in the initial 3 or 4 seconds after where things then started to crumble. It was a good idea for 3 seconds. And then it fell apart. People start looking elsewhere. They get drawn into different ideas. And maybe that's just a case of discipline, right? Not holding the angle you've been designated to. He was assigned to Y in towards the rotate, and they still couldn't make it happen. Just small things here that are costing Talon a couple of setups here. It's not looking super great for the side of Fnatic, who are slowly starting to fall their way behind. We said at the half, surely there's no way 5-1 comes back the way of Talon. But given how these attacks have gone, 1 kill in 2 rounds for Fnatic, where are they going to find a win?
I mean, you more or less say that Oregon is always the battle of the tertiary sites. So I'm curious to see what they do on this site. It looks like it's going to be a big tower take coming out. They're already established in there. As we've seen, please, please, please hold on to the drone that's right the way in the basement for when the flank inevitably does come in. And then it's the same kind of thing coming again. There's no OSA this time. So we're looking at a stage attack. But they've got to try and force it by clearing out meeting because they can't plant behind a shield.
7 just meeting here as well. Obviously, quite a few of them distributed across this top floor. I think 3 of them are upstairs right now as well. So a little bit light on the ground, but I think the worry will mainly be what's going on with the site itself rather than the top floor.
No,
left it too late, and he's only got 2 left.
No,
that's everything
set
gone.
Them off on the first. Oh, no.
Obviously, the fear is you set it off too soon. You get an impact come raining underneath. You can't get through the wall. I understand it. It's a good thing they've still got the Maverick here as well, and he basically has a full tank left because they used the Hibana to open up the right side of top floor. They didn't use him to commit everything, I don't think. So now they're in a spot where, sure, he has the gas on side to get it all opened up.
I thought he was going to get peeked, but it was actually the pit player. It was an angle thing there from the Jaeger. I thought he could be seen. If the hatch is open, they really need to deal with Canos here because he can start pushing up Attic to try and deny the plant from Attic hatch down into stage.
Absolutely. That's not what they're looking for here. They have got the hatch opened up regardless, and I'm pretty sure that top Attic hatch was a Hibana open. Can we take a look, actually? Because he did have like 8, I think. 8 were already consumed off. No, okay, it was a Maverick open. I'm surprised by that. I thought because he'd already used 8 on the wall, he must, okay, you've got 2 left, you still got 8 in back pocket. I'm not sure where those 8 went.
Maybe just in this pocket. Or has he already expended them?
No, that's the thing. He used 8 on the wall that got Kai tricked off, and then he had 8 left. I don't know where the other 8 have gone.
No.
Curious. Unless they were already tricked off upstairs or whatever, I don't know.
Twice, who knows?
Imagine getting 16 pellets tricked off.
Couldn't be me.
Stinger. Could not be you. Could not be you. The smokes are coming out, though. You can see them now starting to expire. Heady with one left in back pocket. They've got 2 C4s. They've got a lot to play with here as the first attempt at the plant comes through. They're trying to nade underneath. The ADS doing a little bit of work for them, but they can't stick this out as that last smoke canister is deployed. The 3 ADSs here protecting Soldier, who is going to be crucial with that C4 in hand. Lily finding one. They've got to step back in and make this plant happen. They're going to go for the push in here, but they don't quite anticipate Soldier to get a massive 2K from on the sandbags. The man is entrenched. Yura getting one back. Lily on the swing. They find the man and they push the kills. But here comes Demic from the back. There is no time to recover. And once more, this time round at least, things fall ever so slightly short.
Hold on to your tier 1 flanks.
Or C4s up onto the stage and get the desirable outcome. A dead planter down here in the basement. I think it is much more critical for them. And sure enough, Fnatic, they were thinking about it. I don't know if they've droned out this Warden or just had the conversation as the round has started and gone, okay, we obviously want to bring the Ying. We know they're running Warden, so clearly we can't bother. When you think about it, the Warden alongside the Jaeger and the Wamai, that is just so much to nile against that operator.
You just can't basically do anything.
No.
And for Fnatic, what I want to see them do here is ignore the laundry freezer side. Maybe have somebody poke down there late if you manage to get an advantage, but really focus on taking control of tower, taking control of meeting, and then by extension working yourself down tower stairs, taking control of pillar, taking control of blue. The first issue they might have, however, is that they've got to clear Canos because he's on an early roam. He's going to shoot some drones, presumably when they come in, you know, through top floor, through meeting, potentially even through tower, and then rotate himself back down the tower stairs scot-free.
That's exactly what he's going to do now. Obviously identifies there is a bit of threat coming in. Here's the window being broken up in tier 3, or is indicated by his team. Gets himself out of dodge and assumes the default Jaeger position. Up in big tower, waiting for a drone to come pushing down. Now, whether or not Yura tries to get himself into a key position where he can, of course, spray onto the man is a different conversation. He has quite cleverly stepped just across to the left here, probably watched a couple of VODs and identified it's not the safest place to stand, and has got himself tucked in here safely away from any spray from Yura this time around. Here it comes.
Oh,
I'd love it. I'd honestly
he's
love
just
it.
baited you. He's going to get the drone. Here we go. There's the little angle.
Oh, look.
Actually, a challenge is going to come onto it.
That's what I was waiting for. Part of me kind of hoped we'd always see a default sort of setup there where they're just there waiting and ready to go for the challenge, of course, with a hole already in the wall. Otherwise, you're waiting to get sprayed. But no, came close, but Yura survives to fight another day.
We're seeing this similar attacks starting to come out of Fnatic. They've opened hatches. They've used, I believe, Hibana to open that freezer hatch. They're going to start Maverick in the other hatches very shortly because they've got full control. The Maverick's already going to work, as I say that. And it looks like, once again, we're going to go for a laundry freezer. However, they've identified that they might need some tower presence to push down the stairs late. That nade wasn't actually meant for the Jaeger. It was meant for the barbed wire so that he can push down late without a sound cue.
That's why it wasn't cooked in that case as well. Lily just looking to find a way forwards here. They're yeeting nades down into deep freezer. In fact, look at how many they've got left as well. There's still 5 on side. They've gone through all their flashes.
Horrendous.
So here it's just 5 frags to burn their way through. One of those more magnet comes out from Azzy as well. So Wamai still churning his way through those, trying to keep the team protected from the raining death that is no doubt waiting for them. And in comes the step. They've got one now inside of freezer, but as we've seen before, when it was the other side on defense, when Fnatic were playing on defense, it was like coming out with a big swing on the smoke from playing on elbow. Will we see the same here? Absolutely not to begin with. It's Canos onside a Shaiko spot getting the opener.
Really nice adaptation by Fnatic to actually start putting people towards the back. However, once again, they are plagued by the fact that 2 people have gone early and lost their lives. Yura, Light, Lily, 1 versus 1 versus 1. As Chibisu is now going to try and make something of it, pushing into blue. Canos does get killed by Meryu, who's pushing his way into sight. Is refragged instantly by Demic, and Heady gets the kill there onto Chibisu. Once again, Fnatic, please, please, if you're going to do this, go in sync. Or don't do it at all. Have people there to refrag you out so that you are not just giving your life away for free.
It's the same story as we had on the desk. Exactly the same. Individual players going of their own accord. Dare I say, it feels like what we've seen out of Reject. And they're a team that are some way behind this lineup. These guys have been in guts for like a long
ranked.
time.
It doesn't feel like even Reject levels. It feels like ranked to 5 people solo queuing. They have an idea of what they want to do. It gets to 30 seconds left and player A has just decided he's going to go. 5 seconds later, player B's going. 5 seconds later, player C goes, and they walk into the death. Next one, next one, next one.
It's all too easy, right? Just all too...
Oh, it's frustrating.
it is frustrating, you know. Like, again, I can't really say what I said earlier about Rejects and their attacks if I can't say the same about Fnatic here, because it is playing out exactly the same way. It is frustrating to watch because you know these teams are capable of so much more. We've seen Guts Gaming have stronger attacks and defenses than what we've seen from them so far throughout the season. Maybe not defenses, actually, because their defense record has been great, to be fair to them. But it's going to be that same story, and I'm wondering, now that we're 4 Playdays in, will that change before we hit Playday 7? They've got about 3 weeks to work on it and get it fixed, but it's looking to be that builder stage one they've referred to, and it's very clear to everyone where the work needs to go.
Well, if they keep up their impressive, because, you know, their defense win rate has gone up from this game.
Shocker.
Their attack win rate has currently gone down. So it's very clear where they will be doing a lot of work in the off-season. And I think we're at the point, should they not win this game, we're at the point where we're talking about them out of the running for any major spots, and we're talking about them really prepping for stage 2. And it's disappointing to say that.
Tis indeed. Let's see how things set up then. Canos sat here, hovering around Big Tower. It's a bit of a weird side to be on things, to be honest with you. To see a Jaeger inside Big Tower and everything's fully reinforced off. Yura's already got himself set up inside of Tier 3, and they know there's a man lurking down there, but they're just not quite sure exactly where he is. Here, a spray coming in on towards the more default entry point, but Yura was in a long time ago, and Meriu, he was joining in from the window. So, not to be expected. Canos goes, right, cool, no, I can't fight this anymore. Waited a bit of time, made you drone me, haha, made you look, and now I'm out of here.
Exactly, it's the haha, it's the major drone. There's currently now no default.
Major drone.
Major drone.
Sounds funny to say.
There's no default flank cam.
No.
There's no default flank cam. He's wasted, I think it was at least 3 drones on that side, because it's only 2 players that go over there, which means he can be slippy in his movement late round. So he's set himself up, he's provided himself a platform late round if he needs to flank. They're very unlikely going to know that he's doing it, and therefore need to keep a gun trained if they're going to attack from attic.
Absolutely. Here comes the first of those lion scans ring. In fact, I lied. Yeah, it's the first one. I was dead confused then. Yeah, it was the first one coming out, on the push on the way through. So once again, we've got up towards this trophy door. Now, last time round, they did get in and start a plant, but we spoke about the miscoordination. The man, Yura, who was playing on big window, not holding the cross, and Azzy just slipped in on the Warden, shot down the planter, and that was the end of it. So hopefully here, a little more caution being shown by the side of Fnatic. They are still all 5 alive with 60 seconds still to play. They've got a lot to play with here if needed, and they've still got a smoke canister on the side of Talon. So it's not like they've got tons of tools to play with here. 1 smoke canister, 1 C4. Fnatic can burn through that and make an attack work, but it's going to require that discipline we keep on talking about.
It's a 4-1 split as well. There's one guy on Kid's window who does peek, gets 1 kill, gets 2 kills. There we go, Yura. Great play. The execute can now come in, light, sticking the diffuser down, and it is completely retake from Talon. There's 1 holding the breach, 1 holding the window, 1 planting, and 1 holding the plant. Meriu finds a kill from the breach, and it's all up to Canos and Demic to try and retake this.
It's looking much better from Fnatic here, much more decisive in how they play things. Yura with a great kind of air quotes flank, moving across from his usual spot to get on Kid's window. Demic fighting his way back up, sees a man. Just kill him, just kill him, just spray those feet. Everyone loves a toe shot. Down he goes, 2nd kill for Demic. And is this going to be a big fight back coming in here, Jax? It's starting to feel like it. They're going to find a couple more. No way does Demic get the 3. He sees the diffuser. He knows where he is. He's got 5 seconds to win this gunfight because he's got to turn around and go for the plan. You can't wait, my son. Push him. But Yura, what a phenomenal round. 2 kills from the Kid's window. Wins out the 1 versus 1. And Fnatic finally find an attack.
The synergy. They finally got it on point. It took them 5 rounds to get there on the attack. They get there. And it was the Kid's window. It's very smart. Group up. And I said this in the desk, is that I would rather see them lose to time, but doing a proper attack with 4 people, you know, rotating people late. That's exactly what they did. Rotated 1 player to Kid's window, executed their attack, gets the plant down, and wins the round. It's as simple as that. Very nice retake attempts from Talon there. It never should have got to a 1v1, but ultimately Fnatic come away with a round, come away with at least 1 point.
They do. And I'm really curious here if Fnatic's spot was changed in this round because, Jack, there is no Warden. We have seen Warden time and time again in this situation. This is their chance to make use of attack at repick and bring along the Ying if they really want to play it. You've seen them a couple of times looking towards it, but never thinking, okay, we can make this work now. No, there's still a Warden on side. Let's go back to what we were on before. And Demic, you've got to give him some credit, by the way. They were in a 2 versus 4, and he still pulls out 3 kills. And yes, just like called, in comes the Ying. This could go very wrong for Talon unless they've got a game plan.
What I wonder about Fnatic is actually they really shouldn't have won the last time they used a Ying, sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought there. Last time they used a Ying was the round 1 of their previous attack on Wednesday. On Oregon, they used the Ying. They actually lost that attack. They recovered it, but they really should have lost it because they tried to do a west main attack, which is why I've seen the rotation of the players come across the west side. Idea is you completely take control of small tower, showers, dining, kitchen, Zulu. You nade up from below, you get the people out of kids by the bunk bed, then you plant the double window. That's what they're going to attempt to try and do with the Ying. However, they couldn't take control of the middle floor. So it's all about this fight for the middle floor, as we do see Talon do have Demic already down there.
I think here a little bit late on getting this opened up. Soldier who realised at the last second, oh, it's too late. They're already going off. They're going to get it opened up. We can't stop that. So good pacing being shown, I guess, by Chibisu to get there before the Kai was even aware of what was going on. Interesting electrification coming into this wall between kids and between bunks down here to the south as well, mind you. Just to stop them opening it up from distance, getting a nice angle through to a player that might dig themselves inside of the kids' corner. They can still nade them out because we saw Hedy eat 2 grenades from Euro last time around, or not last time, but the round before. It wasn't a really comfortable spot to play in, which is why you can see the members of Talon digging more towards the north side of that room, and that doesn't stop them eating grenades from inside of dining. Last time around we saw that, it was Euro dropping through the hatch and killing the player that was trying to catch them with nades. Now on the flip side, Fnatic have used that exact tactic against Talon. A second one now being traded back as Soldier finds Meryu.
The big issue, though, is that there's players in security holding the big window from below, and it's all on Canos in this fight with Yura. And once he wins that means big window cannot be jumped in without the player dying from below. And that's why you're seeing Lily. He's now going to focus.
Lily. He's
going to use the wall, the 3 ping, the 4 ping, the yellow ping. Will he find his man? No sound cues have been made. Lily does take control. He's looking towards Freezer Stairs. It looks like he's going to nade it out. And Canos is wasting a whole lot of time down here, but he's potentially going to die to a nade very shortly.
No nade. Oh, gets the man. Can he find the second? The nade comes through, but he just about gets away with it. I thought surely we'd see the nade come through first, and that would have been a freebie for the side of Fnatic. But no, he gets one and he gets away. Canos keeping Talon's dreams alive in this game of getting us through to overtime. In they come through the wall now, looking to make something happen, but Chibisu hits the deck, so does Lily. We're going to overtime, Jack.
We're going to overtime, Des.
Yes, another EUL classic. There's a good few of those, and many of them come from Tim. I'll give him that.
They do. And once again, Fnatic, they did the right thing. They 6-picked to the Ying. However, as we saw on Wednesday, it was the same again here. They couldn't clear out the mid floor before they went for their attack. They lost their Ying before they'd even thought about going into double window. They lost players in the middle floor, and it really fell apart from there.
Just really, really good stuff. And even with the Ying on side, as you mentioned, it gets caught out on the downstairs, of no use to them. And I think Fnatic, it was a bit of a gamble. They changed the way where they were attacking.
It just worked for them from the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, well, you got concrete, you've got the Ying down side, you've got no Warden to stop you. Surely this is the time you go for that kind of push. And no, they try and mix things up, go for white and big window, and they pay the price. Now Talon start on the defense. They get to choose which sites to go to. Fnatic are the ones who've got to scramble to find 2 rounds from somewhere.
And one of them's got to be an attack, with having won 4 attacks in 24 rounds of Siege this season.
Yes.
So it's not looking good for Fnatic. However, the 2 sites, it will presumably be Laundry and Kids coming out of Talon, should we get there.
Yeah.
Fnatic have won on Kid Storms. So they do have something to come on.
They've won once.
They've won once, yeah. Out of what, 3?
Yeah.
So, yeah, even then it's
But then Talon did win Supply and Laundry with the rush.
Yeah.
Do you dare rush in round 14?
I would.
Of course you would. Rank mentality, love it.
Well, I don't know. Even when I was an analyst, I wanted to take teams to their best maps and beat them, but I never did.
I think you did sometimes, just not frequently.
I got overruled by teammates often when I'm like, oh, let's just take BDS to their best map and we'll definitely beat them. No. I mean, we still lost to BDS, so, you know.
Yeah, may as well lose on the best map if you're going to lose.
Exactly,
at least then you can go, it was maps.
Go out with a bang, yeah.
Never know. You might just surprise someone. Canos once again doing a little bit of dancing around on this top floor, hoping to chew his way through some of those drones. Nom, 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 nom. Tasty gears. Does find one. Yura's chasing him all the way through, but just like before, he's hightailed it all the way back, and Yura stepping up and doing exactly the same thing as before, getting that sightline open down onto Big Tower Stairs.
Once again, the big issue for Fnatic here is time, and we've seen them try and go from both sides without success now. We've seen them go from the north side and try and take control of Blue Pillar. And they really had a big desync. They were a bit more in line when they went for a laundry freezer. However, they actually really struggled and they didn't get a single kill on that one, even if they were more in sync.
Mary, you're doing work like you would expect from Maverick here. Oh, no. He was a couple of pixels off losing his head there, mate, yet still, because Demic is just sat waiting. Look at him now lay down. The much safer option to get this open admitted. Oh, he saw the head, but just couldn't quite find him in time. Would have been a massive kill because you removed the 2 frag grenades away, which are critical to getting pillar control. It also would have removed their ability to get security hatch opened up. Is it the most critical thing in the world? No, but it does mean players can't play inside a shallow freezer. They have to move instead up towards the much thinner deep freeze.
Once again, it's all about the time. It's all about the time and the Mavericking, and that really is. The Cade being in play is massive here. I would be surprised if when in play, Cade is not picked 100% on this map, on this site particularly, because he can just force time by having the hatches reinforced, force the Maverick to open the hatch.
Oh,
it looks like we've got a laundry freezer sake coming up, Des.
Why?
They didn't get a single kill last time, Des.
No, I'm just not a fan at all. Let's see if they can make it work, though. We're into that last 35 seconds or so. They've still got 3 frags on side to play with, but the opening kill goes the way it should be. That's what you're looking for. It catches Demic. It catches that C4. It's a wonderful start to the attacking side. Lily working his way forwards. Heady's the one holding the long angle. Don't know if I like the idea of an SMG being the long-range challenger here, but there's one coming up. It's Azzy on the inside, sees the man, but Lily wins the gunfight, brings him down. It's a 5 versus 3 for Fnatic, and this could be their time to shine. Soldier going for a challenge, expecting more flashes to come in, gets pushed aggressively by Light. There's another one coming in. Fnatic could have done it here as well. Heady's gone by the wayside. Fnatic have broken open this bunker defense and might have just found their way forwards.
That was a great attack.
It was. For all our concerns.
I don't mean to sound surprised when I say that, but it was fantastic. Chibisu getting the opening. They knew the positions that would be played. They baited the peaks coming out of the defense, and they really gambled with the time. They were essentially, the call there was, we're playing for kills. We're not playing for objective. If we let them think we're playing for objective, they will all peek us, we will all kill them. It's exactly what happened. Overall,
oh boy.
they either win it flawlessly or they lose it flawlessly. There's no in between.
I'll give them that much. I will give them that much. Now we get to see how things fare down in the basement with Fnatic on the defense. This was the only round that Talon won. Now, that did all come from a rush-based play. The other rounds, you would argue, were close. There were some very close rounds in that first half when Fnatic were on the defensive side. Talon came close in a few rounds, but Fnatic's post-plant play, their late-round play and defense is sublime. It looks fantastic, probably because you can make more of those solo individual plays that don't require a big team push all at the same time. So, Talon have got some work to do here. There's going to be no rush. There is no blitz on side. They're going to have to play this one by the book, and when they did that last time round, they lost in round 4. But it did come from a big swing from Light, let's not forget.
It did come from a big swing. And it was a desync in Fnatic. That particular round is that they let go of Tower Stairs. So I'm hoping they learn their lessons from that. It was Chibisu in particular that let go of it. Hopefully he holds on to it, because Fnatic, they've really set themselves up on the back of a really good attack to win the game in overtime and collect 2 points.
Indeed. Let's see how things set up then. As Talon starting off on their attack in what could be the final round of this game. And although, yes, the attacking hasn't been fantastic from Fnatic, even from Talon and a couple of points, overall, I would probably say it's been an entertaining game, and just seeing where, sure, things have fallen apart, but we still felt pretty gripped all the way through. It could yet still go to the full 15 rounds, but first, got to get through round number 14. For Talon, it's looking like a start out here out towards Showers. Very used to seeing this. Want to get control of Freezer first and foremost. What I'm keen to see is the difference against Fnatic is, do they then send someone big tower? Do they come through construction? Do they at least have that kind of one-prong push coming in on the north side, so those on the south aren't so, I don't know, focused? Because if you've got to worry about what's behind you and what's in front of you, it creates a little bit of indecision in the defenders.
Exactly. When the defenders know that there's 5 players in a 45-degree angle, which is what Laundry and Freezer is, you don't have to flick far to see both of them. When the defenders know that, they can just front up. I call it fronting up the attack, because they don't have to worry about their back whatsoever. Even just one player, and Citizen from G2 is amazing at it.
Yes.
Just one player can poke in the back and get loads of kills.
Yes, is very, very good at that. The lurker, some people call them as well, the beta in other cases. But no matter what you want to call it, it has value. It gets the job done, and that is the most important thing. As long as you're winning, who cares by what means? Now, for most of Fnatic, you are seeing them slowly being moved slightly further up here as well, so being forced back ever so slightly. Light still inside of Cubby. Meryu's just freaking out a bit and saying, you know what, I don't want to be near all those explosions. They look pretty deadly to me. No, thank you. And indeed, there are 3 players grouping up around Freezer here from the side of Talon who are looking to push their way through. I hope not drop down through the hatch, but to get their way down the stairs would be the play to go for. It's going to be a south side push. There's currently no one looking to go forcing their way down the top side unless Soldier really wants to get a jiggle on. But I think by the looks of it, he's instead looking towards this meeting hatch, trying to contest anyone that's going to be inside of E-Box, of which there is no one, because as we've already seen from Fnatic, they like setting up on the pillar and Shaiko spots instead.
A little bit of indecision coming out of Talon, or they're just waiting for a 3-2-1 call, as you say. In terms of 3-2-1, let's go, everybody drop at the same time, create absolute mayhem, and we'll see what our end result is the plan that they're going to go with.
They keep trying to get hold of this shield that's on highway, but at the minute they've just burnt through constant utility because the ADSs are coming back up. You've got the magnets on side. Azzy getting one. Is Demic now looking for the drop? But Lily might have his backside here. Yes, he does. He rotated out in towards blue and has now found the man. It's a 2 versus 4 and about 5 seconds on the clock. Talon, it's all slipping through their fingers. They thought they'd bought it back, but Fnatic pull off a heroic effort and will be able to find themselves an 8-6 victory over Talon.
Amazing stuff from Fnatic, and again, I'd never thought to say this, based off the back of a really good attack coming out of them.
It's weird, isn't it?
Round 13. Once again, they've got their issues. Don't get me wrong, they have absolutely got their issues. They're fixable issues, but mainly they got 2